A strange bridge in Scotland. Looks completely normal, but it has already taken the lives of hundreds of dogs. Why? From an abandoned concrete bridge hidden deep in the jungles of Brazil to an island that vanished completely from the Gulf of Mexico. Today, we're going to explore some of the most mysterious places in the world, places so bizarre they're hard to believe are real, and that's not all. We'll also visit the Atlantis of Argentina, the ruins of a sunken town that today presents one of the most haunting sights on Earth. Welcome back to another video. You've probably seen many old bridges in your life, but a 130-year-old bridge called Overtoun Bridge in the Scottish town of Dumbarton is shrouded in mysteries unlike any other. This bridge was originally built to provide access to a nearby mansion known as Overtoun House. At first glance, it looks like any other ordinary bridge. But there is one thing about it that makes it very different from everything else. This bridge is a suicide bridge for dogs. Yes, over the past several decades, hundreds of dogs have leaped from this bridge to their deaths, without any apparent reason. People say that some dogs survived the fall, but badly injured. And some reports claim that after surviving and making their way back up to the bridge, injured dogs have jumped again. Different reports give different numbers of deaths, but one thing is consistent across all of them: it is always dogs. No other animal, only dogs. Because of these events, all kinds of theories have swirled around Overtoun Bridge. Some people, particularly those who follow Celtic pagan beliefs, consider this bridge to be a thin place, a space between heaven and earth where the boundary between the living and the dead becomes blurred. Some locals believe it is the work of the ghost of a widow who once lived in the nearby mansion, known as the White Lady of Overtoun. Another popular theory links the bridge to a tragic incident from 1994, when a disturbed father threw his own infant child off this very bridge. Some believe the negative energy from that event compels dogs to do the same. But beyond the supernatural theories, some researchers have offered a more logical explanation. In 2006, animal behavior expert David Sands investigated the bridge. He noticed that the forest beneath it was home to a large number of small animals, particularly minks. Sands suggested that dogs, using their powerful sense of smell, detect these animals beneath the bridge and leap over the edge in pursuit, not realizing the drop on the other side. Experts have also pointed out that the design and location of the bridge are unusual. When dogs climb onto the parapet wall, the layout creates an optical illusion, making it appear as though the ground continues flat beyond the wall, rather than dropping sharply into a ravine. But even this theory has never been conclusively proven. No solid evidence has confirmed it. To this day, Overtoun Bridge remains an unsolved mystery. No one knows why only dogs jump from here. If you pick up any old map of the Gulf of Mexico, drawn by Spanish explorers in the 16th or 17th century, you will spot a small island just north of the Yucatan Peninsula. It was called Bermeja. The exact location may vary slightly from map to map. But one thing was consistent: every single map showed this island, without fail. Bermeja was first officially included on a map of the Gulf of Mexico's islands by Spanish cartographer Alonso de Santa Cruz in 1539. For centuries it appeared on maps without question. Then, in the late 1990s, massive oil reserves were discovered in the Gulf of Mexico. The American and Mexican governments began defining their maritime boundaries, determining exactly which country had the rights to drill for oil in which zones. Because Bermeja Island sat close to the Yucatan Peninsula, if Mexico could claim it, their boundary, and their oil drilling rights would extend significantly further into the Gulf. The Mexican government launched 3 separate expeditions to locate Bermeja. But mysteriously, they found nothing, no trace of the island, not even a shallow reef. The Mexican Navy stated that it seemed as though no island had ever existed there at all. The story might have ended there. But then something happened that made people think much harder about it. 1 year after the Navy failed to find Bermeja, a Mexican senator, José Ángel Solario, one of the strongest advocates for extending Mexico's oil zone and for the existence of Bermeja, was killed in a car accident on a Mexican highway. After his death, speculation exploded. People began claiming that the CIA had used multiple underwater explosions to blow the island out of existence, to prevent Mexico from extending its rights in the Gulf. In 2009, a new search using advanced technology was launched. Once again, only sand was found on the ocean floor. Following these failed attempts, the president of the Mexican Society of Geography proposed another explanation that centuries ago, Spanish explorers may have deliberately drawn a fake island on their maps to mislead their enemies, and Bermeja never actually existed at all. But the truth remains unknown. Was the island real? Did a natural force erase it? Or was it deliberately destroyed? Bermeja Island is still a mystery. Deep in the heart of Brazil's dense jungle stands a mysterious concrete structure, something that looks like it belongs in a city, not a rainforest. This structure is over 130 feet tall and more than 1,000 feet long. It contains tunnels, walls, and an enormous concrete foundation, all of which the jungle is slowly but steadily reclaiming. From a distance, it looks as though someone physically picked up a piece of a city and dropped it into the middle of the South American jungle for no reason. The eerie silence of the jungle surrounding this structure makes for an incredibly strange and mysterious atmosphere. But the real story behind it goes back about 50 years. Brazil's BR-101 highway is one of the country's most important and longest roads, stretching over 3,000 miles. Construction began in 1950. In 1960, work started on one critical section of the highway called the Viaduto Petrobras. Its purpose was to connect Rio de Janeiro with the port city of Santos in São Paulo, cutting through the jungle. After 16 years of grueling work, this section was nearly complete. And then Brazil was hit by a devastating economic crisis. The government ran out of money. They could no longer afford to connect the Viaduto Petrobras to the main BR-101 highway. At the last moment, plans were changed. BR-101 was rerouted to connect to a different coastal highway instead, and the Viaduto Petrobras was simply abandoned. Ever since, the jungle has been slowly swallowing it whole. Today, it survives only as a strange tourist attraction, a ghost of a road that never was. In 1920, about 400 miles from the Argentine capital of Buenos Aires, there was a small tourist village called Villa Epecuén. This village sat on the shores of Lago Epecuén, a saltwater lake. The lake was famous because local legends said that bathing in its waters could cure various skin and bone diseases. The village quickly became a popular weekend getaway for Argentina's wealthy. It had its own railway station and a population of around 1,500 people. At its peak in the 1970s, it could accommodate up to 5,000 visitors at a time. Because of its fame, large amounts of money were invested in Villa Epecuén. Hotels were built. Infrastructure was developed. Everything was done to ensure visitors could stay comfortably. But it seems that not enough attention was paid to the dam separating the village from the salt lake. And then the worst happened. On November 10, 1985, a powerful storm caused the dam to break. For 2 straight weeks, water poured into the village non-stop. Eventually, all 1,500 residents were forced to abandon Villa Epecuén. Within days, the entire village, every house, every street, was submerged under 30 feet of water. For 25 years, Villa Epecuén remained completely underwater. Then, in 2009, the water began to recede, and what emerged from beneath the surface was haunting. The ruins of houses, the outlines of old streets, everything was visible from above. The remains of a village where 1,500 people once lived their lives. Wild shrubs, rusted buildings, broken walls, the village looked like something straight out of a horror film, a real-life ghost town. The salt content of the water had left a thick white crust over every surface, making the ruins look even more eerie and otherworldly. Today, Villa Epecuén attracts photographers and tourists from all over the world who come to see the ruins of this once famous village. But the most remarkable part of the Villa Epecuén story is this. In 2009, when the water finally receded, an 81-year-old man named Pablo Novak returned to the ruins and chose to live in his broken, half-destroyed house. Out of all 500 residents, he was the only one who came back. As the sole resident of Villa Epecuén, Pablo was officially named the town's cultural ambassador in 2020. But sadly, in January 2024, at the age of 93, Pablo passed away. With his death, Villa Epecuén became completely uninhabited once again. A town that was once famous because of its tourists, today is visited only by tourists, but now there is no one left to call it home. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and share it generously. Thank you so much for all your wonderful comments. See you in the next incredible video.